Hello everyone and welcome to the Pokemon Battle Evolution Metronome Tournament Finals! We are here, we are ready, and I decided for the occasion to put on my Pikachu onesie and be completely epic because I'm really excited. I've been really happy at how this tournament's been going. I've found it very fun to host. YouTube's doing well, lots of views in the videos, lots of people watching and chatting on Twitch. That's exciting, but you're not here for those stats, you're here for the tournament. You're here for the tournament. You're here for Pokemon Battle Revolution Metronome. We have 2 participants, and I'm going to introduce them to you. Our first participant was in the very first group of our tournament, in Group A, and was the first one to find out that metronome battles, yeah, let's just say they're luck dependent. However, after they found that out in a very harsh first match, they turned their luck around, got revenge in the same Colosseum as in round 1, won again in round 3, and made their way to the finals. On her way, she had a 4-0 win against August GF, a 3-0 win against Green, a 1-0 win against Van Grants, and then 2-0 against Dared in the semi-final. Our first participant in this final is Akko. Then, her opponent, someone who we met in the first match in Group C. Someone with a strong team who, from the very start, was seen as one of the people with the highest chance of winning this tournament. And now, they're just one matchup away. Starting with a 2-0 win against Claudia in Group C. They suffered a loss in round 2 against Dared, but then clawed their way back in that deciding Group C match against GameScorp, winning 4-0, showing that they deserve to be in the quarterfinal. In those quarterfinals, they were the only one that finished second in the group to qualify for the semifinals, with a whopping 3-0 win against Group D winner Damien. Then met Kimono in the semifinals where they won 2-0, and now they stand here. They're super strong, you might say, legendary team. Akko's opponent is Matt. Who is going to come out victorious? It will be best 2 out of 3. So a trainer needs to win 2 matches to come out victorious. If they win the first but lose the next 2, they still lose the finals. However, they qualify for the finals at minimum. It will be a silver medal. It will be 2nd place, which is definitely a feat one should be proud of. Who will walk away happy? Who potentially walk away angry? Or will it be somewhere in between? Which Pikachu will it be right at the end? We're about to find out. Let us have some very good fun in what this Metronome tournament has built towards the grand final. I'm excited for it. Any strange predictions in the chat here? Let's see, Matt is like a classic David v Goliath scenario, and he faces this scenario up to 5 times, having done 2 of them already. There were 2 teams full of legendaries. There were multiple teams with legendaries. There was Dared's team, there was Rence's team with legends, or at least with 1. There were 2 teams that were full legendary, and those were Akko and Matt's. Interestingly, for the statisticians, and we actually knew this before the bronze match, no one goes undefeated in this tournament. Because the bronze match participants lost in the semi-finals, with Kimono, one of the semi-finalists and bronze match participants, also having lost in round 3, but still qualifying for the quarterfinals. Ako lost in round 1, as I did mention earlier, with Matt losing in round 2, but Matt, being second in Group C, made it to the finals, where the winner of Group C, Jared, only qualified for bronze match. Now, Jared beat Matt, but Ako beat Jared. So then Ako beats Matt? We're about to find out. 3 matches, potentially 2 depending on how it goes, all in Stargazer Colosseum as the epic ending at the grandest stage of all. Ako's legendary dragons against the legend team of Matt. On one side, Latias, Latios, Rayquaza, Giratina, Palkia, and Dialga. A lot of pressure for both finalists, yes indeed. Especially a lot of pressure exerting from Matt's side of the field. Not as much, I think, on the 3 Pokemon. On Ako's side, pressure doesn't really affect anything here. Hey, Matt, you did make it to the finals. Welcome. You made it in time. That's good to see. I mean, Pikachu! First ever Pokemon Battle Revolution Metronome Tournament. The final. The first match starts now. Some epic music. Ako fights like a dragon. Matt will play you. Here we go!
Wow, giant Pokemon sure do make this Colosseum look tiny.
Giant Pokemon indeed. Let's get fighting. Starting with the Latis. Latias.
The blue corner makes the first attack.
U-turns. We're gonna see a switch. Immediately with a critical hit on Lugia. So Latias was seen at the start. It will be seen again at the back of the match. Latias goes to the back of the order. So Ako's third Pokemon will now be sent out.
Rayquaza is sent out.
Rayquaza is the next Pokemon. Ako said earlier, yeah, I really don't want to see an Ice Ball. Very much makes sense. 1, her team is weak to, and 2, she doesn't want a flashback of round 1. Big hit there from Punishment, and that was without a stat boost on Latios. Imagine if Latios would have had stat boosts. Role play on Dialga. Well, there's the pressure from Latios, but it loses its Levitate, so ground moves can now affect it. Attract. Sorry, Dialga, but there's not that many legendary Pokemon that have genders. Latios and Latios do, male and female respectively. Heatran can actually be both. Cresselia is all female. And outside of that, there's not that many with genders. Generally, they're genderless. Lugia, I literally just said something to Dialga that goes for all of you. Literally. Fake tears from Latios. Lowering the special defense of that Lugia. Lugia is a tank. Let's see if they can hit it hard with a Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. Present. But it missed. Still haven't seen healing present. We have seen a missed present. And we have seen self-destruct. A big bang to start the match. Wow. And no one resists it because Dialga is the steel type that would have resisted it. Lugia down. Latios down. Critical kill on Rayquaza.
The blue corner lost both of their Pokemon.
Akko doesn't have an early lead because all 4 of them are down. It's 4-4.
But the attacker is down as
Yeah, it only shows 2 Pokemon being hit at the same time. It can't do 3. We're less than 3 minutes in and it's already 4-4. I almost click Arias, but Arias is going to be sent out right at the end, as I did say. It goes to the back. Akko sends out Giratina. We've seen a shiny Giratina in the bronze match quite regularly. It was very important, very good for Darred. And here we see 2 more Giratina because Matt has a Giratina as well. And Akko's Giratina will be accompanied by Palkia.
Palkia is sent out.
And Matt's one will be accompanied by Ho-Oh. Let's see, Latios is kind of weak though. Dialga and Lugia are better. Battle of the Giratinas.
In terms of the number
Matt's
of Pokemon,
not saying, yeah, that was actually a bad trade. If you purely look at the base stats, then I believe Latios is a bit lower than the others. So in that sense, you could say that, yes. That is true. I think it's 680 for most of these Pokemon. And the Latios are a bit lower. Latios maybe more towards 600, 620, something like that. I'm not going to look it up. It's all really high. Agility for the fastest Pokemon. We saw that last time, I think, with, is it Gengar in the bronze match? And we saw someone slowing the slowest Pokemon down with Cotton Spore. Giratina with Leech Seed, that can be very good because it's consistent damage every turn, healing for yourself every turn, so it might even be better than Aqua Ring, although this one does run out the moment that other Pokemon goes down. And Leech Seed takes 1/8 of the opponent's health instead of the 1/16 that the residual damage of like Fire Spin and Whirlpool would do. Here comes Leaf Storm, normal effective on Palkia because it's also part water.
its special attack
Lowers the special attack of Giratina. Now loses 1/8 of its health, which means 1/16 effectively of the other Giratina's health.
Both corners
Now,
still have a chance
it is
to win this.
1/16
Going to take
of
the glory.
Matt's Giratina's health that Aqua's Giratina heals, but because they're both Giratina and all Pokemon are trained the same with perfect IVs, no EVs, and a neutral nature, you could say that it's 1/16 of healing, just like Aqua Ring or Ingrain would do for Aqua's Giratina. Palkia with super speed makes use of one of the 3 most useless moves. Like, it's better than a few. There's a few other moves like Lunar Dance you don't want to see almost all the time. We've never seen a successful one. So Spider Web's better than Lunar Dance, but it's still one of the 3 moves that does absolutely nothing. Like, it makes the opponent unable to switch manually. Something that already wasn't allowed in the rules. Here comes Pluck for Giratina. Decent damage on Palkia, and also gets rid of Palkia's Leopard Berry. Considering it was just sent out, we are very far from considering it running out and going for Struggle because of that. We've only seen Struggle in the bronze match due to either Taunt or Imprison. Will we see Imprison again in this match? I think Akka would want her Giratina to be targeted because the Giratina can heal again. At the same time, a move she probably doesn't want to see, besides the obvious ones like Lunar Dance, is Transform. Because one that isn't really that effective in this scenario, considering the base stats of all the Pokemon are really high. And that would lower her power points to 5, and she doesn't have a Leopard Berry. There we go! Big move, Imprison! Ingrain on Giratina, who's also healing from Leech Seed. Imprison would have been on Giratina, then I don't see how that wouldn't be game. It is on Palkia. Palkia can go down. It's at half HP already, but it's Imprison.
Both corners still have a chance to
The
win
best
this.
move
Going to take the glory.
in the Metronome tournament. And Akka used it somewhat early on. We've already seen a self-destruct. We're just 7 minutes into this match. And the shortest... I'm actually going to look this up. Belly Drum. Ah, that's bad. That's really bad after Imprison. Actually, that struggle at least doesn't go for Palkia, but that's bad. That's not a move you want.
This is the
I was going to look up what the shortest match is that we've ever done. Shortest match... was round 3 Matt versus GameScorp. 14 minutes, 27 seconds. I thought that if that belly drum wouldn't have happened, and with the self-destruct and imprison into struggle, then we might get there, but Matt got lucky. Saw the worst move, and then in combination with that, a pretty bad one. Imprisoned Pokemon Golden, that was only struggle for 1 turn on Matt's side, so Matt will be extremely happy with that. Not that he saw Imprisoned, but the fact that it only lasted for 1 turn. Now, Akko does need to remember, Akko may be behind 4-3, but they have a Giratina with Leech Seed healing active and Ingrain. Now, once the other Giratina goes down, that Leech Seed will go away, but Ingrain is still active on a Pokemon with full HP, and that's just a tank in general. So that Giratina, once again the shiny Giratina, could be very important in this match. Matt had exactly what they needed with that belly drum. Only Lunar Dance would have been better on that Palkia. Hydro Cannon! Yeah, that's resisted, but it does take out the Giratina. I would have loved to see that on the Ho-Oh, though, with much more HP and super effective. Because the Giratina would have also just gone down to Leech Seed as well. But it's a takeout, it does mean that Giratina will not be able to move this turn. Here comes a Stomp from Giratina on Ho-Oh. 30% chance, I believe, to flinch. Let's see if that happens on Ho-Oh. Decent damage. No flinch. Ho-Oh gets a Metronome. Giga Impact, but it... Dang it, Ho-Oh! There's a ghost on the field. You used a normal move. I was ready to say the thing. You didn't let me say the thing. Yeah, I wanted it to hit. If it was aimed at Giratina, because now we don't even know who it was targeted. And I'm pretty sure it can... Actually, can it miss if it targets something it doesn't affect? It's not important for this match, but... I wonder, if the target would have been Giratina, would it even... do the hit or miss randomizing? Or is it just always doesn't affect? It was Giga Impact, so a normal move that wouldn't affect the Ghost in Giratina, but with a 10% chance to miss. Turbo recharges. Rainbow moves again, so that's probably a speed tie then with Giratina. Shadow Claw from big physical attack on a Ghost type, but that's just even from the big physical attacker in Ho-Oh, that's just about a third, maybe, of Giratina's health. And it has Ingrain to heal it back up. Bind, a little bit of damage on Suicune, and that'll be residual damage as well. Still feel weird calling it residual damage when the damage is quite possibly more than the damage of the standard move. Haze, getting rid of all the stat changes. Lucky Charm wears off, so critical hits can happen against Matt's team. And Uray heals up a bit. Bit of damage. Right there. See if Rainbow can get a successful move off again. Revenge. Super effective once more. Physical attack against Dialga. Even against Dialga, it's just over a third. Quite surprised it's not that much. Metal Claw then from Giratina. That's going to be resisted by Ho-Oh. Attack boost, perhaps? It is physical attack boosted on Giratina, which makes it even more dangerous than before. And Heat Wave. Hits Ho-Oh, but it can show the animation for both, so that misses on Suicune. Sweet Kiss. Very smart. Not only does that give a 50% chance of Giratina not to get an attack off, it's a 50% chance for it to hit itself. And because of the attack boost literally just got from Metal Claw, remember, hitting yourself in confusion uses your own physical attack and defense in the calculation, including boosts. So it can hit itself just a little bit harder. Suicune is indeed a water type, yes, a pure water type. That's why it resisted Heat Wave. Well, it would have resisted Heat Wave. Pain Split from Dialga. Which actually isn't good, even though it was hit by a super effective move. It loses some HP and gives some to Ho-Oh. And Giratina hits itself, but even with the attack boost, that's not much! Giratina is a tank! And Eruption from the Fire type.
It hit 2 Pokemon at once.
Giratina is showing why it may be a very good Pokemon to have for the second Metronome tournament. Being a Ghost type, resisting a lot of moves. Ghost Dragon resisting a lot of moves. Being immune to 2, being a Pokemon that can hit hard, but at the same time take a lot of hits. But I'm pretty sure its base stat total is 680. And I'll remind you, the next Metronome tournament, you have to have an average base stat total per Pokemon in your team of 425. 425. Giratina 680. Ooh, Swagger, that could have been interesting if that hit. Both Pokemon confused or have potential for Giratina hitting itself much harder. Didn't happen. Needle Arm, that's super effective. With boosted attack. Pretty nice from Giratina.
Massive damage.
Dialga crunching away the big birdie.
It hits.
A Fire Turkey. It's a Dizzy Punch, but doesn't work on Ghosts! I got to say it in this match, yeah.
Battle rages on. Each corner will make the attack that could change the situation.
That's like it started as a bit of a joke, but I'm actually liking it. I'm hoping it would show up sometimes. Like I don't hope for the teams that it happens, but when I say a normal move and there's a Ghost the other type, I'm like, hit the Ghost, hit the Ghost, hit the Ghost. 425 isn't even fully off. Yeah, 425 is around the base stat total of middle stage stars such as Quilava, Grottle, and Wartortle. Ooh, Giratina paralyzed now, fully paralyzed, but the discharge did hit the Suicune! Explosion takes out the Dialga, takes out Suicune and Ho-Oh, but get ready everyone, because we're gonna see 2 fainting animations, and then you know what I'm gonna say, and this time it's actually a good thing, because Explosion doesn't work on Ghosts. Doesn't work on Ghosts, and this puts Akko in a very good position. An ingrained Giratina, sure paralyzed, but an ingrained Giratina with an attack boost at like over 3/4 of its health. And the Latias that we now see back after turn 1 U-turning. And 1 defensive Deoxys. Akko looking very good here. See if that defensive Deoxys can do well. It's more defensive than Giratina, but it doesn't have that much offensive pressure. Latias, you're gonna see U-turn again. Would be super effective. Super Fang, that's big. That's big on a Pokemon that's full health. That's big on a thing that's really defensive. Nice job. Deoxys' first move. Poison Fang. It would have really loved to be able to poison the Giratina, but the paralysis from the discharge... The paralysis from the discharge actually makes that impossible. The discharge that Ho-Oh used very recently. Spit Up, yep, still not seen Stockbell into Spit Up or Swallow. We've seen Stockbell in the bronze match, but it wasn't followed by Spit Up or Swallow. Half HP on that Deoxys. Latias. Embargo. Every time I see Embargo, I'm like, ooh, that's Imprison. That does the same thing, but it's not. We've seen Embargo once being really useful. I think that was... Actually, that might have been the very first match. Akko versus, Random.
It just got burned.
Yeah, I think Embargo was used, and then her Latias on the final PowerPoint flung away the Lepa Berry, and then struggled because of it. Vacuum Wave. Very little damage. Giratina's bulkier than Deoxys. I'm gonna take a look at the stats after this match. Burn on Latias is helpful. 1/8 of its health every turn. And considering Giratina's healing, it's probably worth it for Deoxys to hit the Latias, because that's very likely going to go down first. Latias gets hit for 1/8 of its health every turn, while Giratina heals. And also Latias is a bit less defensive. I do know that in terms of the Deoxys forms, Deoxys attack is really hard on attack and very small on defense. While Deoxys defense is a bit less on defense than Deoxys attack is on attack, and therefore has a bit more offensive stats than Deoxys defense has defenses.
It hits.
50 HP only on Deoxys defense. 160 on the defenses, but 50 on HP. Assuming the first three you mentioned were Giratina's, like HP, defense, special defense. So Giratina's 150 HP, 120 on defense and special defense. While Deoxys defense has 160 on defense and special defense, but only 50 on HP, making it... Yeah, I vaguely remember it now, why defensive Deoxys isn't all that great. Because it doesn't have its HP to support it. Like, you have Shuckle, who has way more defenses than defense Deoxys, and like 230. Sure, it has like 20 HP, but it's still an effective wall because of its huge defensive stats. But I think it's because it is lacking the Shuckle in HP that it isn't super competitive. It can still do very nicely in tournaments and in battles, in singles especially. And I've used it very successfully in multiple of my Pokemon tournaments in recent years. But I think that is what is holding it back from you being a top tier Pokemon. Top tier stall interrupter Pokemon. And Deoxys defense quite possibly as well. I missed it! Doesn't work on ghosts! Because I was talking? No! Doesn't work on ghosts! Dang it! I was focusing on the explaining of the stats and looking at the chat. Giratina was about to get drain punched, I see. Deoxys. No, doesn't work on ghosts. Sludge. Critical hit on Latias, bringing it further down. Deoxys isn't doing too well, but it's surviving so far, although will it survive this one? It's not that strong of a move, but it's super effective, and it's enough!
It couldn't survive the second hit and goes down.
It's enough!
The result
First win!
It's an absolute
Goes to Akko! 2-0. A match that took just over 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 13 seconds. A match that saw imprisoned, self-destruct, and explosion. But the explosion didn't work on one of the ghosts. And imprisoned really only lasted for one struggle turn, because it used Belly Drum the turn after. So otherwise it might have been a much shorter match. But what happened to the regular tournaments? I've not felt as much like organizing them. Also, the most recent time I tried to host one, although that must have been like 4 or 5 months ago, or even a bit more, only 3 or 4 people registered, including myself. So that made me realize, okay, I want to take a bit of a break. Hopefully later on I can pick it back up. And I didn't really want to pick the regular tournaments back up, but I didn't want to do a tournament thing, so I thought I'll just do Battle Revolution Metronome tournaments. Due to the fact that I can control basically everything. That's why I chose Metronome, and that's why I chose Battle Revolution. Because then I can put all the teams on this. I control everything, so I don't need to wait for, in this case, Akko and Matt to meet up in a certain time. And you have 3 days per round, and then special, very exact rules have to write down in case of certain things happening in the tournament. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be pretty easy, a lot more casual, and I was able to do that through this Metronome tournament. So I just asked for the teams, and I asked for what do you want your character to be named, what kind of model you wanted to have. I decided on the item, which is Leopard Berry for everyone. I decided on the ability, which was the most competitive one always, that I felt was the most competitive one for the Pokemon, except if it's a theme team, such as Misty's Lantern having Illuminate instead of just Volt Absorb. So potentially after this Metronome tournament, standard tones will be back up. Really depends on the want for it. But I think with just school just becoming more and more important as well, because I'm going into my 3rd year of 4, at uni. I'm not sure how much time I will have and how much time I will be willing to spend to host those serious tournaments. So maybe the occasional tournament like this, although I'm not sure what I can do outside of Metronome tournaments to keep it fair. So I'm not saying there won't be any tournaments. I'll think about it once this tournament's done. But yeah, that's the reasoning why there haven't been any of the standard tournaments. Time for match 2. Akko leads at 1-0. He's just one match win away from coming back from a round 1 loss to take victory in the tournament. And to think, if that happens, the only person to have ever beaten Akko, the tournament champion, was last in their own group. But that's only if Akko wins. Matt can still win this match and then win the next one. We're back at Stargazer Colosseum for match 2 of the final. Matt this time on the left, Akko on the right. Let's go. Interestingly, that the legendary Pokemon, the big legend teams, were caught.
An exciting battle is about to begin in a world of illusion created by the Poketopia Master.
Yes, okay. That the Heal Ball and the Pokeball were used to catch these Pokemon, instead of the Ultra Ball or the Master Ball or maybe the Dusk Ball. Nope. Heal Ball and Pokeball without additional multipliers. Fire Blast to start us off. And it's on a part Steel Pokemon, so even if it's a Dragon, it doesn't resist it. So good first move from Latios. Here comes Lugia. Starting off with the defensive Light Screen. Would have been nice for Lugia to do that first, and it's speed type with the Lati, so they could have come first, but Latios had the luck. Here comes Power Gem. That one is resisted due to the Steel typing. Well, let's see what Dialga itself can do after being hit twice. Revenge would actually be resisted. Encore, which actually the move most recently used was
The situation is a bit of a stalemate. It's a mental tug of war as they end.
Power Gem. Then again, Torment says you can't use the same move twice in a row. But even if that's used after a turn in which someone metronomed into Ember, Metronome can't be used the turn after. It counts Metronome as the move being used, so I think it'll here as well. Anchor will be on Metronome always. Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, it's a Metronome. It's on the actual move selected. Yeah, basically Encore is useless because, again, you can't manually switch. His knockoff, not that strong of a move in this generation, it's still just 20 power. I don't think it even has the 1.5 times multiplier. Leopardberry is knocked off, so would Dialga stay for a long time? Or if it would transform, it might get to struggling by running out. Heart Swap. We've seen like 3 heart swaps between this and the bronze match. I don't think any of them were effective. Maybe one. It was like Umbreon and Giratina. Head Smash, super effective. That ignores the light screen, but it does give a lot of recoil damage. Lugia with good HP, meaning recoil damage is big on that Latias. Slam, you get slammed by a clock, Latias. Kaboom.
A heated battle is unfolding in the Colosseum.
But if you're encored into a move, do you lose power points? I'm not sure if you do, because if you do, but you're at low power points, what happens then? Do you struggle or not? Let's look at the power points on Latias after this turn. Bug Bites. You just knocked off its item, you're not going to get a Leopard Berry. Calm Mind, improving its own special stats, special attack and special defense, but it's already at half HP, and the others have been showing to want to use some physical attacks on it. Although a lot of the damage came from the recoil from Latios' own move. It was a physical move, but it's on Latios. Fury Swipes. 1 hit, 2 hits. That's what it's 6 with 3 in 8 chance that it's 2 hits. Let's take a look. 13 power points. So Encore does take power points. It just force you to use the move. You still use the move, you select it. Thunderbolt! Resist, it would have been nice from Lugia, but light screen is up, do remember that, so it's half damage of what it would have done. Lugia with a bug bite, that will be super effective. And taking another Leper Berry. Latias just surviving. What's it gonna do? This might be its final turn. Fake Tears, setting up some special defense drops on Dialga, trying to combo with Latios to take it out. See if Dialga will punish Latios for that. It does punish it for it. Reversal is resisted, but with that little HP, it wasn't going to survive it. Latios down. Matt starts with the lead. And this time Sneca sent in because Latios is taken out instead of Latios just being like, you turn, I'm out.
Has the lead when comparing the number of remaining Pokemon, but the battle has just begun.
Role play, so that's Airlock, which doesn't really do too much without weather. First kill on 447. Oh, you kept track of that?
But this is not
I haven't kept track of that, although that would be interesting for stats. Who got the earliest KO? Actually, that's one of Flash's matches. There was a self-destruct turn 1 in one of the matches. I think it was I want to say it was Flash's match on Gateway Colosseum. So probably, I'm gonna say that's round 3. No, that was Sunny Park. I want to say it was Flash on Gateway.
Its accuracy fell.
Not sure.
Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. Who's going to take the glory?
Nightshade set damage, a nice 50. Would probably prefer to just use Shadow Ball or something, a good special move. To make use of the Fake Tears, might have taken it out. Although Shadow Ball would be resisted. It's Barrage, a move that still looks and sounds really weird.
It keeps dealing damage.
Boing, boing, boing. You guys just like, why are you throwing children's balls at me? There's no playing balls. I want to actually properly hit hard. Here's Tita Dance. That's okay. Everyone's just now confused as to why Barrage sounds like boing, 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 and it misses Latios. Whoa! That one's nice. That's something they'll be very happy with. Although Signal beat Latios, that's not something Akko's happy with. That's big and super effective. Fire Blast from Latios again. This time on Lugia for some big damage. The light screen is gone, so it's standard damage and it's a burn. That'll be nice on Lugia. Is it going to hit itself? It's not. So far they've broken through the confusion.
Lugia uses its move.
Lugia using Mud Sport, weakening the potential electric moves that might be coming out in the next 5 turns. At least from Akko's side. I'm not sure if that also affects the other side. Rage. It's going to be a small move. And it's not, you're not locked into Rage like in Gen 1. The only moment Rage is a good move, I would say, is in the Generation 2 speedruns. There you actually use Rage sometimes. If only Rage was Outrage, yeah, that would have been really nice. Lugia suffers from Burn, so one more hit, and it'll be taken out by Burn or Burn itself for another 2 turns, so Akko will probably want to aim at Dialga. With a little bit of a hit, like an Icy Wind on both. Wouldn't be bad. Latios, the fastest Pokemon, making sure it goes fastest, but this time it was a speed tie for fastest Pokemon with Lugia, so now it's certain to go first. Which isn't too bad, although once Lugia's gone with that burn, it would have been the fastest. Anyway, never mind, speed tie. Speed tie once more. Lugia's like, I'm not gonna be outsped by you.
A whirlwind
Let's see if Dialga hits itself, takes itself out. It does not. Still not hitting themselves in confusion, so that Teeter Dance not being very effective. And there's some, while being confused, some big hits from Dialga coming to Latios. Signal Beam, then Thrash. Thrash will get them confused eventually, so it would be interesting if Dialga runs out of, breaks through confusion this turn, but then gets confused again at the end of the turn. The potential exists. Silver snaps out of confusion. Indeed, Razor Wind being whipped up, yes. Sword Stance, that is not a good move for Lugia. Because unless it gets hit by the healing present, or it gets whirlwinded out. Actually, if it gets whirlwinded out, it's useless as well. Weather Ball. Small damage, but with the fake tears, I think that's enough. Dialga's down. And Lugia can't do anything else anymore. The burn will take it out. Razor Wind actually misses. But really just, in a way, that might just be salt into the wind, so the burn takes it out. At least it's not something Lugia caused itself. And through those moves, it's actually Aqua that leads now, 5-4. Matt has two fancy Pokemon to send out now. Giratina and Ho-Oh.
Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. What kind of developments can we expect to see next?
Very low HP on the Latios, so that would be a very small hit to take it out and tie the game back up. Latios is definitely the fastest now. An Ice Beam, and it's on the Dragon.
A harsh blow. That dealt some massive damage.
Nice move by Latios. Here comes Snack. Outrage. Aqua really wants to see Outrage, Uproar. Unfortunately, that doesn't work at Ghosts.
A whirlwind is whipped up.
Ooh, Giratina trying to show Rayquaza how to hit a Razor Wind. And meanwhile, Ho-Oh with Weather Ball. Latios took out Dialga with Weather Ball, and then Latios gets taken out with Weather Ball itself. We've seen quite a few of the same moves. Double Fire Blast from Latios. We've seen two Weather Balls. Now two Razor Winds. And we're tied. However, Razor Wind is a normal move. Isn't it?
In terms of the number of remaining Pokemon, it's an even 50-50. Who will become the victor?
Time for Rayquaza. Black Rayquaza used False Swipe, which misses. How does it miss? There's been no accuracy drops or increases, were there? There weren't any was there an accuracy drop that I missed on Rayquaza? Because I don't remember any evasiveness increases on the others. I was so ready, like I didn't see the animation start. So I was ready to say it doesn't work on Ghosts. That's not a move that should normally miss. Huh? Well, it got burned, and there's the Razor Wind. And hit Snack. But it still doesn't work on Ghosts. Snack with the damage every turn now. And with half the attack, so that's a good turn for Matt. Amount of Pokemon are tied, but with the burn on Rayquaza, you'd say that Matt has just a slight advantage, but a slight advantage doesn't mean much in a Metronome battle. Yeah, I keep thinking it's a flying move. I've made that mistake earlier because in Pokemon Clover, I think there's a few moves that are a different type. Razor Wind is a flying type and is slightly stronger, and Flash is actually an electric move and actually deals damage. It's a 20 power move. Still lowers accuracy, always. But it's a 20 power move. There's a few other differences, probably. Sucker Punch, yeah, still doesn't work in a Metronome battle. Because even if it would go first, Metronome is a status move. And it only works if the opponent uses an attacking move. So it's completely useless in the storm. But actually, yeah. Splash, Spiderweb block, but also Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch will never work. Sucker Punch will never do a thing. It will not affect the player, it will not affect the opponent. Sucker Punch is one of the 4 useless moves. That also doesn't work on Ghosts. We're getting a lot of them. Well, there's a good amount of Ghosts in in these final few matches with the Giratinas here. With the 3 ghosts, the Giratina, the Sableye. Was it just Giratina and Sableye and Darrett's team? I think it was Spiritomb in a different team. Yeah, quite a few ghosts, quite a few opportunities to save the line. Here comes Hidden Power, that's Dark. On the Dark Rayquaza. And that burn takes it out. Match went from the lead to being behind, and now to the lead again. It's 4-3. Time for Pearl.
Is sent out.
Bone Club. Okay. Decent hit. Gonna see Palkia use Spatial Rent perhaps. Sacred Fire from Rainbow. And there's another one of the useless moves. Ho-Oh's used 2 of them. Splash and Spiderweb next. We've already seen Spiderweb from one of Akko's spoken, I believe.
It's a close fight.
It's a close fight. That probably dealt 1 damage. I didn't even see the HP bar move. It's a weak move that's 4 times resisted. One big move can change it, but are we going to see big moves? It's double hit. It's not a big move. Also, it missed. Dang it. Hit. Damage to Ho-Oh or beat, not affected on ghosts. Ominous Wind, it's a stab, super effective move. Ghosts being weak to ghosts. Giratina, I believe, the only Pokemon that is weak to both of its own types. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Giratina is the only Pokemon that's weak to both of its own types due to Dragon and Ghost being weak, Dragon being weak to Dragon, and Ghost being weak to Ghost, and neither resisting the other. Oh, that... what animation was that? It did the same animation 4 times. Well, it's better than... what was it? Like round 2, I think we saw a glitch? With, like, Shadow Force? Triple kick. Yeah, but after the final hit, it just went down and didn't have an animation to do that. Taunt! That could be a nice one for Akko. Ho-Oh forces the struggle. Ho-Oh does have good physical attack, though, so let's see what it can do with it. Aqua Ring from Giratina. Last time was in that exact slot. The Giratina on Akko's side. Now it's the Giratina on Matt's side. Let's see if it can make use of that healing.
The move fails.
Version 2 failing because it's already a ghost type.
Well, both corners still have a chance to win this. Who's going to take the glory?
And moves on Ho, and with pretty good HP still on both Palkia and Giratina. Oh, it's likely to take itself out before any of the 2 opponents go down. Grass Whistle.
The move fails.
Protected by Safeguard. Would have hoped for Akko that was on Giratina, because otherwise the Ho-Oh wouldn't be able to struggle on itself. Psy Wave. A very unreliable move, but it looks like it got the high damage roll there. She is lucky, but you're still in the lead. This isn't over. Dream Eater, that would have been amazing. That was a Twilight as well, so if Safeguard wouldn't have been there and Grass Whistle worked, it would have actually been effective in a super big combo. Hit on Palkia. One more hit on Palkia and it's 4-2. Safeguard gone now. Are we going to see Grass Whistle Dream Eater again? Well, Twilight heals some HP. See, Rainbow has over half its HP remaining, so it'll be 3 struggles before it takes itself out. See if it gets hit. Palkia is part water, so can it make use of that? Rock Throw on the Giratina. Bit of damage there to nullify, in a sense, the Aqua Ring heal. Rook throw again. This time on the fire flying. And that's 4 times super effective. Ho down. Scored a 3-3. Keeping it interesting. Keeping it close.
Giratina starts to attack.
Natural gift. But that's a fighting move with Leopard Berry, so it doesn't work against.
Suicune is sent out. Well, both corners still have a chance.
Heal Block will be nasty to use after Aqua Ring. I wonder if Heal Block affects Aqua Ring and Ingrain, because I think Heal Block just stops any healing, not just healing moves being used. I'm not entirely certain on that though. Ooh, here's a U-turn. Palkia wants to let Dialga do some work and gets out of there. The score that trainers win by does not matter at all. Whether it's a 6-0 win or a 1-0 win, it means the same. No extra chances to move on. Because even if you win once 6-0 and then you lose 1-0 twice, you still lose the entire thing. It does affect Aqua Ring and Ingrain. I have tested before. Okay. Thank you. Here's Assurance. First actual hit on Aqua's Giratina. It was looking in better shape in terms of HP, but it's still Math Giratina with Aqua Ring active.
Multiple hits. It keeps
3 hits from Comet Punch, which is also a 3 in 8 chance to happen. 2 and 3 hits, both the same chance. 4 and 5 hits, both 1 and 8. Mega Horn. It's a big move, and unfortunately for Splash, it missed. More and more healing for Twilight. It would have been around being KO'd, potentially being KO'd at this point, with all the healing that it's done, if it wouldn't have had the Ingrain. Here's Overheat, that's resisted, but has more damage on the Giratina. With it being a pretty low health, Aqua probably wants to aim for the Giratina, because otherwise the Giratina is just going to heal more and survive. A lot more attacks. It would have definitely been KO'd at this point without Aqua Ring. Meditate's probably not the move Matt wants to see, but it's not the worst either. You have to hope a physical move is Cult next turn, though, to even make use of it. So Aqua probably wouldn't complain about it. Grass Nuts, a bit more damage. It is a heavy Pokemon. It's not quite enough to take it out, but if they keep racking up that damage, it won't be long. Suicune.
Suicune uses its move.
That's a Pain Split, giving itself a bit of HP, lowering the Algus for a bit. We've never seen a super useful Pain Split. Pain Split would be an awesome move on Giratina right now, because not only would it heal itself by a lot, it would lower one of the opposing Pokemon's HP by a lot. And even though in terms of percentages, Dialga has more HP, in terms of actual hit points, Giratina has more, so Matt would want to see its own Giratina use, not Aqua Ring, use Pain Split on Aqua's Giratina. Psych up. Taking Uray stat changes. I don't think Uray took had any stat changes though. Does this get rid of its own Meditate boost though? I think it does. Suicune, the already slowest Pokemon, being slowed down once more. It's not like we've seen that before in this Bronze Mansion final today. Suicune boosting its own attack stat. Let's see if it can actually make use of it, unlike Giratina on that side. Keeps healing. Keeps healing. Who's going to use the big move that's going to end one of these Pokemon? Because there's 3 Pokemon at good health and one that's not at good health but has Aqua Ring. What if Aqua Ring and Ingrain would be used with the same Pokemon? Here's a Bone Meringue on Giratina. It's on the way back too, nearly there. But they need a hit from Dialga to finish off that pretty dangerous Giratina. Punishment. Yeah, that's not that much damage. Can Dialga finish it off? We know Suicune's way slower than the rest, so even only a decent move for Giratina. That's not Giratina, that's Night Slash. And that's super effective. Giratina's gone. Critical hit as well. That was unnecessary for sure.
It couldn't survive
We went for Matt leading. I think Matt had the lead at the start. To then I think a tie, and then Matt had the lead again. Now Akko leads 3-2. 2 Pokemon away from tournament victory. Just Suicune and Deoxys. Unfortunately, Suicune hasn't really shown how good it is. Hasn't really shown its worth these matches so far. And Deoxys has been as useful before, but that probably means they have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. Defensive Pokemon goes first. Skill swap. Useless. Like, it can actually be effective, but that's pressure for pressure. Metronome from Dialga. Air Slash. Every bit of damage counts, especially when you're in the lead and want to try and get it to a 2v1 scenario. Explosion at this time from anyone would finish it. Muddy Water. The Surf that doesn't hit your partner and might even lower accuracy. Does it do that? It does. It lowers Suicune's accuracy, so it's only small thing, small bit of damage, accuracy drop, but it gives Akko more chances. Splash going for the special defense boost. Well, I'm not going to say you don't need that, because we saw how useful the physical defense boost and the reflect was on Glaceon in the bronze match. And Splash also has a partner here, so let's see what happens. We could be done within 5 minutes. Could still have another match to go. Ooh, Akko's Giratina recovering back to full health. In a way, you'd want to see Super Fang, but that doesn't work on Ghosts. Mind Reader. Alright, getting ready to hit that Giratina, but it needs to be followed by something good then. Shadow Ball, that's all Suicune. I thought due to the camera angle being a bit on the right of Dialga, it would have gone for Deoxys, but Dialga's position was still towards Suicune. Muddy Water. Doesn't have a 100% accuracy, that's a disadvantage compared to Surf. I think 85%. And it doesn't lower the accuracy of Dialga. And also that might have missed because the accuracy dropped from the earlier Muddy Water. Jump Giratina. High jump kick and it connects. That would have been bad if that was on a Ghost, but there's no Ghost on that side anymore. Dialga with Hail. This is where Airlock would come in from Rayquaza, but Airlock and I think which Pokemon took over the Airlock? I don't remember, but I don't think that Pokemon's on the field anymore. I don't think it was Suicune. Hail comes in, damages everyone for 1/16 of their health, which is slight advantage to Akko. Like all of Akko's Pokemon will be hit with a Hail as well. But Akko has a Pokemon remaining, so this just brings Akko closer to a 2v1 scenario. That's not amazing, but it's good. It's probably good for Akko. Any big move could change it though. I say it a lot and it's definitely the case. But are we going to see a big move from Matt that changes it here? Kimono wasn't able to win that second match, was behind on it and wasn't able to turn it back. Scorpio says, my Abomasnow sends his final regards. I may be out of the tournament, but the Hail lives to see the finals. In a sense, yes, that's correct. Might we see a Weather Ball into Hail? Because that's the only Weather Ball we haven't seen yet. Actually, I'm not sure if we've seen Weather Ball Rain, Weather Ball in Fire. We've seen Weather Ball in Sandstorm. We saw a Rock Weather Ball, which I don't think I've ever seen before. I think I've seen all the others, even Hail one. Giratina's been on the field for so long that its power points ran out, but it had a Lepibar, so it's back to 10. Deoxys with Rest. Not the best, not the worst. Could help survive. Dialga. Present. Still the damaging present. There's 3 different damaging ones that it could be, and we haven't seen the healing one yet, which has a 20% chance of appearing. Our misses. Now, the one present that we saw miss, I think that was in the bronze match. That could have been a healing one, because present has the chance to miss before it has a chance to decide what it does. But we will never know.
Neither corner has made a decisive attack yet.
Commentator's correct. It's been a while since there's really been a decisive move. There's been little things with accuracy drops and hail, but where's the big move? Sword stands that could turn into the big move.
It's attack rose.
Lava Plume, that hits all 3 Pokemon and could give a burn. 30% chance. Doesn't work on the Oxus because it's already asleep. Doesn't burn the Giratina. Does it burn the Suicune? It does as well, and the weaker HP Pokemon on Matt's side is burned and gets hit by Hail for another, I think, 2 turns? Maybe 1. Becomes Fine Whip for only a little bit of damage. Suicune is the one that needs to see rest, not the Oxus. Yeah, Matt needs help from RNGs here, because Akko is very close to a 2v1 scenario, and that is a very big advantage, especially if you still have a Pokemon in the back, that being Palkia. Although I think Palkia was at like half HP when it U-turned out, but there's still a Pokemon in the back. With Hail and Burn active, I'm not sure if Hail will deal damage for another turn or if this was the final damaging turn for it. But that Burn, I'm not going to do the calculation, the Burn on its own may be enough. I think it's just not enough. Pain Split from the Dialga. Barely any difference. Deoxys' final sleep turn will wake up next turn and see if it can use anything. If it still lives by that turn. Milk Drink from Giratina, the Swords Dance boosted Pokemon, use Recover and Milk Drink to stay alive. Or we're gonna see it struggle by the end of this match. It's been there for such a long time. Thunderfang misses, 5% chance to miss, but the Mighty Water Action Drop wouldn't have helped. And there's hail damage, so that's the end of Suicune. Because it's also burned. 2v1 scenario with a Pokemon in the back. Akko, you are so close. Akko is so close to tournament victory.
It's down due to damage from its burn.
This will probably be Matt's face right now.
The blue corner stands with their backs against
Angry
the wall.
Pika.
Deoxys will be lucky in this crisis.
Keep RNGs has to be nicer to me. And meanwhile, Akko's like, hey, I don't mind this isn't too bad. E.T., you're gonna wake up this turn and you need to show your alien powers. Deoxys and Suicune need to be fired. You can't select that many legendaries for the next tournament anyway, so you'll have to choose some other ones. Just don't select Deoxys Defense and Suicune again, I guess. Giratina needs MVP medal. Giratina is a really good Pokemon, definitely shown. Oh, is this it? Is it gonna be Night Slash for another KO? From Swords Dance, we have a winner.
It couldn't survive the second hit and goes down.
The moment you say Giratina needs the MVP medal, Giratina responds with one more shot at glory. And Giratina Night Slashes Akko to tournament victory. Congratulations. 3-0 for Akko. And yes, actually, there's a couple of things besides congratulating Akko with his amazing achievement, winning in the Metronome tournament. Congratulations. There are a few things I want to go over in terms of stats. The longest match, shortest match, things like that. Biggest scores. But first, let's go with what Scorpio said, because before the quarterfinals started, so before the top cut, I asked everyone to make predictions. To predict every match in the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals and the finals that would follow from that. And you could earn points depending on how many you got right. Now, every winner you got correct in the quarterfinals, that scored you 1 point. Every winner that you got correct in the semifinals would have scored you 2, and then 3 for the finals. Naturally, if you didn't have that many things correct in the quarterfinals, a lot less chance to get things correct in the semis. But it was close in the end for who would get it right. Because if Mats would have won this tournament, Scorpio would have won the prediction scores. However, I'll put the link to the bracket in there again so you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna look at the predictions in just a second because there's someone with a perfect score. And even though Auke's team might have just been third in Group B, I'm now officially ending the tournament with the tournament button. Auke first, Matt second, Darrett third. But I predicted the entire top cut to perfection. That was me. There was some where I found it very hard to predict the matches because I felt the teams were very closely matched in terms of the types and base stat totals. But I predicted every match exactly how they happened. There's no score prediction, but just the winner prediction. But I was right in that. And Auke, with predicting themselves as winning the tournament, actually gets second place in the predictions as well. Scorpio with that takes third. I'm not going to say it's fourth because Auke entered twice with the same predictions. So Auke second, Scorpio third in terms of the predictions, but back to the main thing. The tournament, first Metronome tournament has come to an end. Let's take a look at the battle passes of the top three. I will be getting a spot in the Hall of Fame in my Pokemon tournament server. It's an unofficial tournament in a sense, but it was a tournament nonetheless. Third place goes to middle trainer Darrett with Gengar, Giratina, Lucario, Sableye, Bronzong, and Lugia. Second place goes to Hyper Trainer Matt, so 2 medals for Group C, so Group C doing very well there. Dialga, Lugia, Giratina, Ho-Oh, Suicune, and Deoxys on that team. Now actually, GameScorp and Claudia were both in an exhibition match before the tournament started, and both won that exhibition match. GameScorp against me, and Claudia against Chobin from Group D. But neither made it through to the top cut because they just had very powerful teams with them in the group, and that showed in the top cut because they were both on the podium, but neither was at the top. Because our grand champion from Group A, Dragon Lady Auke. Once again, congratulations. You and your Latios, Rayquaza, Giratina, Palkia, and Dialga have come out victorious. See, were you in any exhibition match? No, you were not. It was GameScorp versus Auke and Claudia versus Chobin. Those are the only 2 exhibition matches that it did. Sort of to give people an idea of what the tournament would be like before we would start it, and also for me to get an idea of the controls, what buttons I need to press, and I found like 1 or 2 things that I definitely need to pay attention to in the tournament. Yeah, that was basically it. Let's go through a few statistics. If there's some tournament statistics that you'd like to know, let me know in the chat now and I can go over them. Like how quick the first KO was, I don't have that written down, but I suggest going to, I want to say it was one of Flash's matches in Gateway Colosseum. I mean, he was in Gateway in the first round. So Flash versus Misty in round 1, which would have been round 1 match 7. That, I think, was the big opener, where they opened with self-destruct in turn 1, so that would have been the quickest KO, almost certainly. Although it might have been that that was another big KO. Wait, we also had a turn 1 Lunar Dance, I think, from Akko's Latios in like the quarterfinals? And then the Lucario from... There was... Yeah, the there was a Lunar Dance or the other move that does the same Healing Wish from Lucario's on the quarterfinals, I think. So if you count those as KOs, those would happen as well. See, Akko says, when making my team, I start with a Rayquaza, even had like a Snorlax and some Sinnoh Dragons, and then Akko mentioned theme teams, so I made a Dragon team. Yeah, I think I did mention others had theme teams. And then at that point you decided, hey, let's make a theme team of my own. Because I do remember you changed it. Before the tournaments were, the teams were finalized. And quite possibly this was the one you do. Garchomp is indeed a Sinnoh Dragon, yes. Garchomp is from Sinnoh, and is a dragon, therefore being a Sinnoh Dragon. Let's see, the shortest match. Shortest match in round 1. We had 3 that were under 20 minutes, with the shortest being 16 minutes 55, Darrett v GameScorp. Shortest in round 2 was a 20:58, Random versus Green. And then in round 3, the shortest was what ended up being the shortest match of the tournament. The only one that went below 15 minutes, Matt versus GameScorp at Gateway Colosseum. That was round 3, 14 minutes, 27 seconds. Indeed, so Scorpio's 2 losses were some pretty quick ones. 16:55 and 14:27. And their other match was a 25-24, a 1-0 win against Claudia, so that wasn't slow either, so I haven't done any calculations, but I'm gonna guess the average match time for Scorpio was the shortest out of anyone in the tournament. The longest match in round 1 was a 38-10 Chobin versus Damien. That was in Courtyard Coliseum. Damien winning that 1-0. The longest match I want to say of the tournament was in round 2. I think the only one that went over 40. Yeah, the only match that went over 40 minutes was in round 2, Matt versus Darrett. Darrett, I think, had 2 short matches. Yeah, Darrett in round 3 was a 15:35. Darrett in round 1 was at 16:55 against GameScorp. But in round 2 they faced Matt. 43 minutes 44 seconds. The longest match. That big matchup in Group C to show which eventually decided who would win, and also who would be on which end of the bracket. I wonder what would have happened if Darrett and Matt would have been different. If Matt would have won that and not Darrett. Matt would have been on Akko's side of the bracket and would have met her in the semi-finals perhaps, and Darrett would have been on the other end. Not versus Flash. Would that have made a difference? Quite possibly, but we will never know. Let's see, longest match in round 3 was... There was only one that went over half an hour. Misty versus Damien. 31:59. And then Top Cut. Let's see, the shortest one in Top Cut was actually part of the finals. The first match in the finals was a 20-minute 13. Courtesy of an explosion and a self-destruct. In Prison, probably would have made it even faster, but that was a KO on the Palkia very early, but... With Explosion and Self-Destruct being in play, 20 minutes 13, the shortest match in the finals. And the longest match in Top Cut was in the finals. It was the second match of the finals. With 32 minutes and 45 seconds. 4 matches actually went over 30 minutes. Darrett versus Flash, Damien versus Matt, and the semi-finals of Kimono versus Matt, all between 31 and 32 minutes, but it was a 32:45 Akko versus Matt in the final. That was it then. Battle Revolution Metronome tournament over. And these, I'll show you them one more time. The 16 teams that participated in this. Let's say them a final goodbye. There's Group A, random, with a randomly selected team. With the biggest showing, I would say, in the tournament of how luck, if you're very lucky, it can completely change your game. Green with 6 green Pokemon. Like, you could argue that Bronzong is blue, but the Pokedex is green, so it was on green team. August GF with quite a competitive team, but wasn't able to get farther than the quarterfinals, losing 1-0 there to Kimono. And Ako, after losing in round 1, didn't lose after that. Was very close actually to Van Grants. Remember, quarterfinals. Ako Van Grants. I do want to give a bit of a flashback on that. I think it was 1v1 Dialga versus Absol. And Dialga was at low HP. Absol missed 2 moves in a row. It had 1 accuracy drop through like a sand attack or a smoke screen or something like that. 1 accuracy drop. It missed Thrash, which was affected by that accuracy drop, and it missed a Roar of Time. Now, Roar of Time might have missed on its own, it might have not. But it missed 2 moves, one affected by that accuracy drop. If either Thrash or Roar of Time, if I recall it correctly, would have hit that Dialga, Ako wouldn't have even made it to the semifinals. It would not. Ako did make it, had enough luck to make it through there, as in the finals. Rensen from Group B, Kimono was able to make it to the semifinals, but didn't end up with the medal. Alka, that was my team, had fun with that team. Van Grants was able to make it to the quarterfinals, but not further. GameScorp here, the second randomized team of the tournament. Claudia with a very interesting team with what as part of it? Matt, who ended up in second, and Darrett in third. Then in Group D, we had Damien, who did very well, but had to face Matt in the quarterfinals and wasn't able to make it through. Flash, who faced Darrett in the quarterfinals, the 2 Metronome winners, but neither won this one. Misty with the theme team based on Hardgold Silver team. And then Chobin as well. Love that team. Would have loved to see it in the quarterfinals, but that didn't happen. Alright, that was the end of Metronome Tournament on Battle Revolution. This stream isn't over, because we're going to go play Infinite Fusion, but we will take a 5 to 10 minute break. So I will see you after that. Thanks very much for watching Battle Revolution. I hope to see you in a bit for Infinite Fusion. See you then.